Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. This video is just going to be question and answers for this pregnancy. My son is playing with beans, so don't mind him. Oh crap, I said I was going to do makeup and brush my hair for the video. I did say that, right? So you don't have to watch me. I'm just gonna be talking in this video, unless he's pretty entertaining. So if you want to watch, that's okay. So I'm just gonna jump into it. So on Instagram, I asked friends. I don't want to just call them followers because I know like everybody that follows me, but I asked them to ask me questions that they want me to cover in this video as far as pregnancy goes. And by a landslide, the biggest question I got, let me count how many. Not that one. 22. So 22 people asked me, what difference am I going to make in my birthing plan? So last time I didn't really have a birthing plan. They just told me I have mild scoliosis. If you've been subscribed to me for a hot minute, you would know that. But the epidural may be difficult, and then someone said it shouldn't be that bad. So then I was kind of like, I'll just go with the flow. If they can give me an epidural, great. If they can't, oh well. And then they also said try to do vaginal birth because due to scoliosis, the recovery of the C-section will be a little bit harder. Not impossible, but harder. Like it's gonna take a longer time. So I just kind of went with the flow. I didn't really have anything set in stone. I wanted my mom there. I didn't want them to kick her out. I didn't really care who else was there as long as they weren't looking at my lady bit. So it was like a very relaxed birthing plan, so to speak. And this time, I don't have that choice, but I lost so much blood with my last one. And then in this pregnancy, my daughter's placenta is so low. So they said C-section would be more ideal because if my water breaks, then I can have my placenta ruptured, most likely. Or they couldn't control the bleeding as much. And yes, I still do have scoliosis. It's not as bad this time because they're really taking care of it, unlike my last pregnancy. So they said that the recovery can still be hard. Getting a spinal will still probably be difficult, but we'll try it. And the reason why I want to try it is because if I do get a spinal, instead of being completely under during the C-section, my husband will be there, and he wasn't there at the last one. So, because he was deployed. So this one, he will be there. Has a potential to be there because he's here with us. And, is that funny? Careful, okay? Don't trip. So, he will be there, and so I would like to try my hardest to make sure he's there during the birth. So I'm going to try to get a spinal. If not, they're going to have to put me completely under. And then the recovery, they said, will probably be more difficult. So, but they said, you're a big girl, you can handle it. It's either you risk your life again and bleed to death, and all you're going to be doing is giving birth and not mothering your new child. And not continue mothering your son that you have now. So they scheduled the C-section. So it's a completely different birthing plan. The next question that was asked, what's the hardest part of pregnancy? Yeah, so that's, so what's been the hardest is being away from family. And I just get very emotional, and then I think being here, right now it's very sunny outside, it's a beautiful day, but for the most part, it's been gloomy. So I'm like, oh my God, I was going to eat my feelings, or just kind of overly emotional. I would say. And then with my husband being home, you would think it's easier, but it's in a sense hard because, so my husband got deployed 4 months after we got married, 4 months after me being pregnant. So our honeymoon stage was very short because after that we were dealing with getting him deployed. And then when he came back, we were dealing with him adjusting to to Caleb, the new baby. And then we were living with family, and then we bought a house, so we were dealing with that, adjusting as a family. And then it turned out that he needed to be stationed in Washington State. So getting ready to move, we had to deal with that. There was just a lot of things that were coming up that we had to learn how to adjust and how to transition. And so the honeymoon stage was cut short, and I feel like after a honeymoon stage, you get in that comfortable stage. And so we skipped all that. We skipped honeymoon stage, and honeymoon stage was short-lived, and then the comfortable stage we never really got to because we're trying to get comfortable in our new environment. And so with a lot of changes going on. So going from that to being completely vulnerable with my emotions with him, and being very open, and sometimes he was like, I don't get why you're like this. Why are you all of a sudden upset, or why are you all of a sudden sad about this and that? So that's been hard because we can't really relate to each other yet, but it's also been good. Like there's been a lot of grace from the Lord. There's been a lot of compassion for each other. So it's, in a sense, it's been good to see that side of each other. But as far as what's hard for me is learning to be comfortable during this pregnancy with him. The next question is, has becoming a mom affected you in a negative way? It's definitely brought a light to things I need to work on. So that's a hard one. Yeah, it has. It's adjusting as far as being a mom or a parent is hard as it is, and me and my husband both struggle with different things. For me, it's remembering to take care of myself. If I can't take care of myself, then I can't take care of my child. I can't take care of this pregnancy. So I get that mom guilt when I do something for myself, and I forget that it's actually for my kids. I have a little bit of confidence, and I seek out reassurance from my son's therapists and from my mom, from my husband, because I don't have the confidence I should as a mom. And someone brought that up to my attention recently. They're just saying, you don't have this confidence as a mom and as a person in yourself, and your son's gonna see that, and technically you're who he has to take care of him for the most part, especially when your husband's gone. And so he's gonna feel unsure of himself. And so that's something that I've been working on, but I wouldn't have realized it if I weren't a mom. I didn't realize I had that problem until I became a mom. I just doubt myself a lot. And then I'm also a little bit more short-fused. So a few months ago, kind of in the beginning of my pregnancy, me and my son were at a restaurant, and Caleb was sitting next to me, or he was standing next to me holding my hand. He was okay with walking at that point, but he was like figuring different ways to walk. Like he'll march, or he'll take little steps and stuff, or he'll stand in place and take little steps. So that's what he was doing with me. And a guy thought he was gonna run off on me, and so he quickly grabbed him, even though Caleb was holding on to my hand. And he grabbed him, picked him up. Caleb started screaming. I started yelling at him. I was being mama bear, and I was like, how dare you pick up my son? Don't touch my son. And he had a soldier's uniform on, army uniform. and he was with 2 other people in the army, and they're like, and he said, I thought he was gonna run from you, I'm so sorry. And so he put him down, but I was still mad at him. I was still yelling at him even after the fact that he put him down, and he was very apologetic, and he was like, I'm so sorry. I was like, yeah, you bet you are sorry. And I was just I was livid, and that's not a way I would normally act. Do you remember that? So that's another thing I need to work on. But so those are, I guess, not good things as far as being a mom. So I'm gonna keep going to the next question before I keep putting myself down. The next one is, how does it feel being pregnant with a baby girl? Oh, I feel like I bond with Caleb too, being pregnant, but I feel like I can connect more with this baby already because she is a girl. So like her movements are a lot sweeter, they're a lot softer. My son was like jabbing me in the womb. Like he was like, his hits or kicks were so harsh, where I had like internal bruising. So I couldn't relate to that. I was like, he's mad. He's like always mad at me. And people were like, he's just being a boy. Like you're having a boy. That's just the way it is. And she's a lot sweeter and a lot more gentle. So I feel like we have that connection more. Like she's more of a girl, and I feel like I'm finally not outnumbered already in the home, because technically she's in me, she's here, she's in the home. So there's 2 guys, a man and a boy, and now there's a woman and a girl. So it's been sweet. I've been loving it. Yeah, this pregnancy has its differences compared to Caleb's, but I love it. I love the connection that we already have, which actually leads me to the next one. How's this pregnancy different from your first one? These pregnancies are like day and night. So with Caleb, my morning sickness wasn't nearly as bad. With this one, it was super rough. The cravings are different. I think 2 people asked me the same thing. So I'm gonna, yeah, so this one is, has this pregnancy been any different from your first one? Symptoms, cravings. So with my, with Caleb, I was, they said I did have gestational diabetes, but I craved more healthy things. Like I wanted a cucumber. If I just like got a cucumber out of the fridge and cut it up into slices, I would eat on and snack on that. This pregnancy has been a lot harder with eating healthy. I crave so much sweets, and I don't have gestational diabetes this time. So even before my test, my first test this time, I wanted Twinkies and a caramel frappuccino. I don't really like coffee. With my first pregnancy, I liked the smell of coffee a lot more than I liked the flavor of coffee. So like if I would go in a Starbucks, I wouldn't necessarily get a coffee. I would like love the smell, and then I get a strawberries and cream. And so this one, it's just really different. And so the day before the test, I was really craving that, and then I was like, should I get that? Should I not? And then I finally caved in, and I got that. My husband went out and he got the Twinkies and the Frappuccino just for me. So, and then they said in the test, okay, sorry, my son wanted us to come in his room to play instead, and so we're here instead. Okay, where was I? Yeah, so that's been different. Oh yeah, so then I had that before the test, and then they said your sugar was actually kind of low. I mean, like not too low, but we're expecting the levels to be higher right away. And I was like, that's weird. I had been craving Twinkies. I was craving Twinkies for like a week before I caved in. And so yesterday I had Twinkies and a Frappuccino before bed, and then I came in the morning, had my test. So, and then it was 2 doctors there because the first one was like, am I seeing these numbers right? So she was like, hold on. So she got the senior doctor, and then the senior doctor said, you've been craving Twinkies for how long? I said, like a week. Cause we saw them at Walmart, and I was like nope. And then we got out of the aisle, and then you know how in the middle of the and like in the middle when you go into the aisles, they have like a big thing of like soda or like cereal or whatever. They had Twinkies, and I was like, no. So I kept wanting Twinkies, and so I was like surrounded by Twinkies, and they all looked good to me. And so then I was thinking about Twinkies, and then they looked at each other. And then she said, sometimes you have to listen to your body. Like sometimes if you're craving something sweet, you may need more sugar. If you're craving something, you know, like sour candies or something, you may be lacking some salt, or just I'm sure like if you're craving like a big juicy drink, you may be a little dehydrated. Like sometimes that's how the body works. Not all the time, but sometimes. And maybe instead of a Twinkie, like have a sweet fruit, a fruit salad, or you know, whatever. So I was like, okay, that makes sense. Try to stay away from the preservatives. So that's been different. The cravings definitely have been very different. And then the symptoms, I'm a lot more tired this time, but I feel like, and I feel bigger, I feel heavier, but she's actually measuring small. She's a little petite. And Caleb was measuring a little bit either on like average or a little bit above average. I don't want to say he was an average baby. And so when they measure her, she's petite, but I don't feel like she is. I feel heavy. And but then again, I do more during the day because I have a toddler. I feel like the last pregnancy, I just like sat on the couch and watched TV and got fat. So but with this one, like even when I wake up in the morning, my feet are sore, like under my feet, like I have been walking all day. And even though, I mean, I wasn't necessarily walking all day, I may have like cleaned a little bit more after my toddler or something, played with him, walked with him outside, played ball with him outside or whatever. But the activity wasn't so severe where I should be having sore feet or sore legs. So that's been kind of different. That's been kind of challenging. And let's see the next question. So here we go. How has this pregnancy affected you in a positive way? Positive way. I feel like during your pregnancy you feel kind of weak and kind of like blah, and like my body's changing and I'm getting fat and this and that. But then you also realize how strong you are and how much your body is capable of. And so in a sense, it boosts up your confidence and you're like, you kind of feel like Superwoman. So with the first pregnancy, I kind of felt that way. And then I kind of forgot about it. And then with this one, I feel like that again. Like, well, I'm growing a human and washing dishes at the same time. I don't know, it's kind of weird. And then also like, I think the sweet moments kind of help too. Like when I'm able to carry Caleb or have him cuddle with me, and then like we're kind of cuddling the baby bump. It's a sweet moment to think I'm already carrying both children, or I'm already cuddling both children. And so it's just something that you get to do as a mom. And it's just an amazing feeling. So that's been awesome. It's been an awesome feeling. It's been a good journey for the most part. I don't know, so far it hasn't been bad. And then the last question, I think I didn't get too many. I got a lot of the same ones. How long was your morning sickness? So my morning sickness was actually for 20 weeks. I was down to like 91 pounds at 20 weeks, which isn't healthy. the doctor was saying that's not good. And so now I'm up to 120. So the gain has been good. I haven't gained as much as with my son. So but yeah, it was really rough with the first one. With Caleb, I had morning sickness. I had some hiccups, like I got really nauseous with some smells, and actually threw up a couple times. And with this one, it was like food, I couldn't do it. I couldn't do smelling food. I don't know how I managed to get through cooking food for my family. I just knew I had to get done, so I would cook for them, and then I would force myself to eat with them. And a few times it was hard, or I could barely eat. The heartburn also hit faster with this one. With my son, it was like the last 3 weeks of pregnancy. I think I was like 35 weeks when I got bad heartburn. This one, it's hit a lot sooner, so that's also been different. But yeah, so this morning sickness was pretty bad, and then I got the flu pretty bad this time too, where I couldn't even swallow anything, like not even prenatal vitamins. Like it was the worst. And I think that also had to do with like lacking food. So I would like have hot chicken broth, toast if I could have toast, and then eventually, like if I could like build up to it, like after 20 weeks I had a lot of like lentil soup, like a heavier protein soup, and a sandwich. So yeah, it's hard though. I know the person that asked me, she's like, that's because I've had morning sickness for 18 weeks. And I'm like, dude. And I feel like I shouldn't complain because my cousin had morning sickness. And then I think my other friend, she had morning sickness for like the whole pregnancy. Nauseous the whole pregnancy. And I don't know how they did it. And I still remained healthy. So, like I'm telling you, like pregnancy, like it makes you realize what you can do. You're pretty amazing. If you're a mom, pat yourself on the back right now. It's pretty awesome. So even if you're not a mom yet, like just what you're capable of, be proud of it. Own it. So anyways, and I think that concludes this video. Hopefully I can do a couple more videos before the end of this pregnancy, and hopefully I don't go MIA for very long. I really enjoyed these videos. I hope you guys enjoy them too. Again, if you have any suggestions on what I can do, if you have any feedback, please put in the comment box. If you think this video was good, please give it a thumbs up. If you think it was bad, give it a thumbs down. If you want to subscribe, that would be great. It's free. It takes like a second of your time, and yeah, it'll be pretty awesome if you can support us and subscribe. Okay, have a blessed day. Thanks for watching. Bye. Okay, you ready? Whoa. Okay. You ready? Yeah, you're gonna be here. It's not that funny, it's just a red button. No. Okay. Okay, calm down. Calm down. You are too silly. Say hi. You need to chill out. Why are you so hyper? Chill out. Monkey boy, calm down. every time I attempt to do something, he just takes over with a bunch of cuteness. You wanna do your own channel? Can you go get all our subscribers? Yeah? Yes? Yes? Can you tell him yes? Yes! Yes!